Good day, everyone. I'm here again and I will share my knowledge about structuralism in literature. Structuralism is a reading approach that identifies structures of thought in the way people read. It is a perspective that shows the reader ways in which he thinks as he reads patterns of deep structures. Structuralism, it is a way that the readers will build ideas about the literary works. While reading, little by little, people who will read the literary works was understand what the authors means. It's a viewpoints that demonstrate to the readers to see the bigger picture of the literary works made by the writer. Structuralism, according to Dr. Linda Bascara, structuralism does not categorize literature into plot, character, setting, but rather relates text to language, landscape, kinship system, marriage customs, fashion, menu, architecture, furniture, and politics. It said that structuralism does not focus in the plot, character, and setting, but more focusing in the language, landscape, kinship system, architecture, fashion, menu, furniture, and politics of a literary work. Structuralism, the readers who practice says structuralist approach in the quest of codes, which the authors has encoded and the interpreter decodes in several ways as a codes of action, codes of puzzle, hermeneutics, or a cultural, connotative, and symbolic codes. This approach requires readers to decode the codes that was encoded by the author. These codes are embedded within the literary text. Being able to decode it, readers can generate meanings through reading and thinking. These codes comes in different forms. Codes of action. These are simply action that contributes to the progression of a literary text or story. Code of puzzles or hermeneutic. This is a branch of knowledge that deals with our interpretation. Symbolic codes show what is beneath the surface of what we see. Thus, structuralism argues that as we read patterns of deep structure or the rules of language, it forces our mind to think and finally generate meanings and interpretations of literary texts. These codes, Bhaskara is referring to perhaps the same concept. The formalist, the beginning of structuralism was the new criticism and formalism, developed and is termed literariness, focuses on the formal aspect of literature. Literature distinguishes itself non-literary language, like the language used in news articles published in a newspaper, because it employs a whole range of devices. Prague structuralist idea of differences and began to see the literary text as a structure of differences, meaning that literary texts have different structures and they are not the same. Task of a structuralist is to finally see how the literary text distinguishes itself from other texts, believe that language is the key to our understanding of ourselves and the world, as structuralists to decode what was being said by the writer or the voice in the text as well as the things left unsaid by its creator. It means that structuralists, we must more understand what the author writes. The more we read, the more we see the deep structure that the authors want to portray, because there is a stable meaning of those code. Search for its literary function or its literariness is the quest a reader might take. One of the best examples of structuralism is the poem created by John Donne titled The Good Morrow. This poem has a lot of patterns and rules of languages that are encoded by the writer. If we read this poem, it is all about the lovers who make each other's as their own worlds. One morning, they woke up in each other's arm after staying a night together, and that is the time that they realize that they want to be together for the rest of their lives.